Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. And we'll talk to you guys in a second, okay?
Okay.
So hello, hello, hello. Thank you for watching. If you are watching, we want to celebrate you for taking the step forward, for wanting to adjust, harmonize, upgrade your relationship wherever you are in your relationship. You know, the thing is, nobody really teaches us how to be in a happy, thriving relationship. And then we get into one, and then we're like, okay, what happened? You know, it started off at a honeymoon phase. What happened? And the thing is, there's a lot that goes into a relationship. And Christopher and I, we're so dedicated to help couples thrive in their relationship. My name is Neda, and I have been a spiritual coach for over 15 years. I specialize in helping women rise into their full queen energy and master the art of conscious relationships.
And my name is Christopher Lyon, and I've been helping men for over 10 years now, understanding how to activate their masculinity, understanding how to show up as men in relationships, because there's been a lot of distortion and false ideas of what it means to be a man. So being able to really be an empowered man is going to really shift how you show up in your relationship in a very healthy way.
Yes, such an important topic. And what we find more often than not in relationships is the biggest issue couples face is that the relationship polarity is out of place. Women start behaving more in the masculine role, and men start to tend to behave more in the feminine role. And we'll talk more about that. Together, we have an Ascension Academy. It's called newearthmasters.com. And we offer like so many different online courses on how people can rise into mastery in different topics of their life. May it be healing, may it be abundance, may it be their psychic abilities, but we specialize in relationships. And within our Divine Union Academy, we really focus on three main things. We help couples really deepen their love and really create like beautiful, intimate, soulful connection and really master like their sacred sexuality. We find that when couples really realign to these 3 points, then their relationship starts to move into like an upward spiral, and that honeymoon phase that started in the beginning of a relationship starts to come back online, and it starts to, you know, become a honeymoon relationship. That phase doesn't need to end. And the way that we do that is we really focus on four main things. The first thing is we really help people heal the past. A lot of people don't know, but our relationship with how we were raised with our parents growing up really affect our relationship. And they're like hidden traumas in our subconscious mind. So we help people really heal the past so they can be ready for a fruitful future. The second thing that we do is we help people really align their queen and king energy in a relationship. When a woman rises into her queen essence and knows her self-worth and drops into her softness and knows how to, you know, dance like a swan in a relationship, then, you know, the man can rise into his king energy and be that leader, that warrior. And I'm talking energetically here. I'm talking emotionally. I'm not talking just physically. And then the third thing that we do is we teach people how to master the art of conscious relationships and bond, which is the fourth thing, and bond and really create their kingdom slash queendom together in harmony, in union, in mastery.
And we go into many facets of what it means to build a healthy union with your partner. So we go into, you know, the importance of conscious communication.
Very important.
Which is absolutely life-changing. So when you're in a relationship and things are arising, because things will arise for both of you in a relationship, you know, maybe past traumas will surface, maybe past limitations will surface for both of you. But if you understand how to communicate consciously through a place of love, through a place of, you know, we are one team, we're going to work through whatever this is, this will allow you to go into deeper and deeper levels of your union, because once you understand that you are working together harmoniously, you will be able to tap into deeper levels of intimacy, deeper levels of vulnerability, deeper levels of unconditional love for one another.
Yeah, this is such an important topic because you know what happens when people come into a relationship with like a bit of like past trauma stuck in their subconscious mind. What ends up happening is the first layer of the relationship, you know, the couple's in a honeymoon phase, they show each other like the best part of themselves. But that doesn't really last long, because then, your true self wants to come online. And what happens is two people start to trigger one another. And when they trigger one another, if people haven't resolved those relationships and don't really know how to have conscious conversations, what happens is they start to move into like the blame game. And if a couple moves into a blame game, like you did this to me and you did that to me, then they've already created separation between their hearts. And that bridge that was once there from one heart to another won't really be there. And then the relationship starts to become sour. But when we start to become more aware of what are the things that trigger us, and then resolve them and work together as a couple, so you heal each other through your love for one another, then that bridge from one heart to another becomes actually more solid. The friendship becomes more solid. The intimacy becomes deeper. And then this soulful connection within a couple becomes much stronger. And that's what everybody yearns for. What we find more often than not, these triggers that we're talking about, what they tend to do is they tend to reverse the polarity in a relationship. And I'm not talking about roles here, like what a man's supposed to do and what a woman's supposed to do. I'm talking about the energy that a person brings into a relationship. When the conscious conversation is not on the table and people go into the blame game, what starts to happen is the woman starts to shift into one of two dynamics. Either she becomes super controlling and she needs to control everything that the man does, or he perceives her that way, or she steps into the other extreme, which is she becomes very passive. Now, both roles are going to create a lot of frustration within a woman, and she's going to drop in her standards. She's going to drop in her self-worth, and she's going to be like, where in the world did I lose myself? And when that happens, it affects the man. Because if a man doesn't feel like he's the king of his kingdom, if he doesn't feel like he's respected and he's adored, then what's going to happen is he's not going to listen to anything a woman says. He's going to start shutting her down emotionally. And also, he can take one of two dynamics. Either he won't listen to anything that she has to say, or he'll start to feel like he needs to keep everything to himself because she really won't understand, or she'll constantly demasculinate him. So that polarity is so important, that it's reversed and a woman starts to feel her worth, feel her beauty, feel her juice, feel her value, and feel safe being in a feminine role, trusting the leadership of her man. And it's very important that the man rises into his leadership, claims his throne, and lives like a king. So then that polarity can come into balance. Because what people yearn for is depth. And if people don't have that polarity, and then their old wounds are, subconsciously triggering a relationship, then that depth is not going to be there. That's when couples start to fall apart. People start to look elsewhere. They start to bicker at one another. Their sex life dies, So really putting that polarity in place is going to bring back the spark of why two people got together in the first place, and they start to admire each other more, love each other more, respect each other more, listen to each other more, and really want to build a life together, honoring each other's feelings and working together like a team.
Yeah, and what's also very important to understand, which we talk about in Divine Union Academy, is there is a divine role between the masculine and feminine. There's a beautiful dance that takes place in a relationship. And when a couple are operating out of limitations or old programming that they've taken in watching their parents' relationships and relationships around them growing up, what happens is that beautiful dance gets lost. So now, for a union to reach its highest optimal state, that dance needs to come back into play. So what does that mean? That means that the masculine needs to understand his role towards the feminine. So the masculine needs to hold the space for the feminine. The masculine needs to hold the emotional safety for the feminine, so that she can really drop into her womb, drop into her priestess frequency, and blossom feeling safe to know that she has a man by her side that is going to protect her, that is going to be there for her whenever she needs support, whenever she needs someone to be present with her. So understanding the divine roles between the masculine and feminine is also going to allow you to take your union into a deeper level of strength, because you're going to be working together harmoniously.
Yeah, that's such an important point, because like when a couple really embraces their divine role, their intimacy gets really solid and their sex life starts to thrive and blossom. And if a couple doesn't really have intimacy and doesn't have like a really fruitful sex life where they're not just making love like body to body, but soul to soul, when they do have that, then the couple is solid. The couple is like solid, and not only are they solid, they're gonna have so much fun together, they're gonna have so much joy together. Whatever trust was lost along the way is gonna get rebuilt, and the harmony of the relationship is going to grow and is going to thrive. You know, Christopher touched on a very important point, which is the roles of the feminine and the masculine. And he talked a lot about the roles of the masculine, but it's also the role of the feminine to really respect her partner. And in today's world, we live in a society where women give themselves permission to disrespect men very easily, but that can really scar a man's honor. And we need to go back to our roots, and on a root level, like on a really deep root level, we're all very tribal. We're primordial beings. So if a woman disrespects her man, he's gonna shut down. He's not gonna want to share with her. He's not gonna want to open up to her, because a man's honor is his badge, right? So really understanding your role as a woman in a relationship, like your role is to polish that crown on his head. Your role is to like really admire him and to like activate that leadership within him more. You got to be that person that has the most faith in him and believe in him, because the biggest masculine wound on the planet is men are really afraid of failure, and you got to be his number one fan. And when women give themselves permission to disrespect a man, that's it. The trust is like the bridge is broken. Like the trust is like, whoa, what have you done? And this is